Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to do the weekly recap. I've I've observed diligently in the Discord that the weekly questionnaire has been filled out. So I won't be doing a questionnaire tomorrow unless it suddenly gets filled out. I do have some other videos planned ahead with my editor instead. We do have some ideas for how we can do it. We have sort of a queue for videos coming up. For example, the monetary policy explanation, which is quite important. I feel like that's very, very important for you as a trader. It's something I talk a lot about in videos, talking about how interest rates going up or strengthening the dollar, how that affects the gold. The gold is sold in the dollar, so the gold loses value. It's more expensive to buy the gold. Usually they have an inverse relationship or an isolated sense. Those types of things, how it affects other things than the dollar, and how when that dollar effect is pressed onto other currencies, for example, when you have monetary policies that are inflationary, you'll see that inflationary policy, for example, something like QE isn't a straight, or yeah, QE is monetary policy as well, but it isn't in the form of price control, which is what the question was more specified as. But QE, which for example causes inflation for the US dollar in the long term, like the Biden era QE we had when they sent money to Ukraine, we saw that had a carryover effect to all other currencies as well. And it's not necessarily even a negative thing. It's a very intricate complex for all of it. For example, some countries like say Japan, because of the low fertility rate in Japan and the aging population, they're struggling with their inflation because the economy isn't really expanding. So they've been almost deflationary. They've had negative interest rates. They have had zero interest rates for such a long time. So for the JPY, for example, that could be a strong thing, a strengthening factor for them to finally get some inflation into their economy. So, it's a diverse relationship to all the macroeconomical factors when you think of it that we'll have to cite in. And we're working on a video with that. But regardless, today, we're going to do the recap. I'm going to go into RuneX as well a little bit, even though there's just a few trading days on the new profile. Sorry about that I've had to recreate and create so many profiles due to the tax issues. I don't want to pay those high ass rates, but that's the way it is. Regardless, we're also going to paint as well. So we do have a full line of things we got to do. So to end up the trading week, the trade I posted, the 12-hour triggered CR CAD CHF, it ended very nicely. This one you could have done a full extension easily. Very nice trade. That was posted. This one is beyond a lock. It is now a win. Same for the Euro CAD, which was an 8-hour entry. It was a very nice trade. It still is. I recommend you to go on 1.5R on these. But you could have extended it to 2.0. Keep in mind, I was not in any of these trades because I've reached my monthly limit, which I will display soon, of 10% a month. All right. So this is how I'm doing myself right now. These are my growth rates. As you can see, I've not had a red month yet. This is since I've started recording. I'm pretty strict with how I follow my 10% limits. When it goes over, it's usually just because the trade is open or it's closed late or whatever. We had the outliner in March, which was because of oil. That was just one fucking trade too, which is pretty good. Beyond that, we haven't had any red months yet, or any period where I do not hit my target. But that'll come hopefully, because that is what defines you as a trader. I don't want to go too long without losing, without having red months either, because it fucks with your mentality. You get some kind of superiority complex if you don't experience red months. This strategy is set up so that my price action strategy is set up so that you get up to 3 red consecutive months a year. So a red month is nothing to worry about, or 2 in a row, nothing to worry about. If you're in La La Land too long, Sunnyland, without any red months, you don't get to see the reality, the psychological reality the statistical reality, and in general, the trading reality that you have to be prepared for when you're trading my strat or any other strat for that matter. Doesn't matter if it's a red month, red week, red day, whatever. You're gonna experience it. So I'm hoping for a red month soon. I also want you to see. Want you guys to see how I react to it, because I've seen like a lot of you guys have shown me those TikTok motherfuckers yelling and screaming when they're trading and being so involved in it. And no, it's not. It's not like that. I have a maximum drawdown of 3%, and that's the red month. That's the end of the month. We've had some close months. Do you remember that? But I haven't quite hit it. So I'd go down from 252% to 249. It wouldn't exactly be anything to crash out or yell over or frankly give a shit about. With that said, let's move on to the more aggressive approach that I've been using. This is the Rune X. I do advise against this. This is where I'm scalping gold. This is the new final profile here. We got slapped really hard when in regards to taxes, and as you guys remember as well, the early non-back-tested version of Rune X, where I put in the initial $100,000, went up to 200,000, and then it crashed down to break even. It's not a good way to trade. It's not sustainable. That's kind of why I wanted to do it, and that's why I put in $100,000, not $1 million. But regardless, it is interesting. It is something you guys can watch. It gives me a form of legitimacy as well, because you can go in and you can check my trades. You go to my history, you can see everything I've done, how many trades I've taken, my average R, my win rate, which always stays around 80%. My R is a little bit low right now, but I mean, this is 1, 2, 3, 4 trading days, so there isn't really anything to draw on this. Although I've had 98 trades in that period though, because it has been 1 minute scalping. That's very, very aggressive, by the way, mind you. That's, yeah, it's a lot of trading. So for those that haven't watched, this account didn't start at 123, so I started out with exactly $100,000, moved that into an account, and then we had to move again and again and again. But I was posted the gains, and I was also up to 100 and what was I at? 145? I don't remember. But I had to pay that in tax withholding, so I got clapped back down to 136. Also, on the first of every month, I'm gonna have to pay tax withholdings as well, so the percentages aren't gonna completely align with the account balance, and it won't show on withdrawals either. When it comes to the news cycle on how we're gonna need to expect the following or the upcoming month, sorry, in regards to how we're going to trade, it's more or less going to be the same, except that we're going into June. For June, the markets really slow down. These are my reddest months. June, July, man, they're slow, bro. June, July, August. Usually, before I was recording, I would usually just go on vacation for all of June and all of July, because I didn't see the point in trading them, because more than half the time they were red. But now that I'm recording, I'll trade them. Don't care. Doesn't matter. But I'll still go on vacation though, or go to trial. Is there even a difference? Isn't that the same thing? I don't know. However, we do have a lot of political events though. UAE joined Saudis, Qatar in urging Trump not to restart war. Yeah, you might think, oh, Trump isn't. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't give a shit. They're doing this because Israel wants them to do it. And for Israel, this is an existential threat. Israel is not interested in what those countries have to say in any way whatsoever. But if anything happens in regards to the Iran war, to do own thing, as Fed's warning, consumer sentiment. Okay, yeah, we're not doing market scan now anyways, but as long as nothing drastic happens, such as the war escalating or the war ending, I'm seeing these months as perpetually slow, man. Like every year for like 10, 12 years. They've been slow. July, August, slow as shit. And also, if for your notebook, if you're noting anything, November is slow, December is slow, January, February. Those are the slow months. So out of the year, we have 1, 2, 3, sometimes February as well. So you can say 4, and then 5, 6, 7. So think about that. Out of the year, we have 7 months that are quite slow for us with my trading strat, especially December. If you guys remember that, it wasn't even tradable. So expect less setups moving into the next week and the next month. That's what I'm expecting, and that's not bad. That's just a test on your trading psychology. That is the way the market has gone. It has for so long since I started trading, and it is the way the market is still going. So we're just going to have to roll with that. Hopefully, like I said, I'll have a red month in July. Sorry, in June, and we'll see what happens from there. That's all I've got for the analysis for today. If you got any questions or anything, feel free to leave a comment or hop in the Discord. That'll be linked below. And I think I've covered and touched every base point, yeah? Home run, innit?
Now, I definitely put it around here somewhere. It was a fuck to give, or was it the home run?
I think so, yeah. So thank you for watching. Bye-bye.